Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Vegas Opening Line. This is December the 4th, 2019. I have a bit of a cold, so pardon my voice. Is a little bit rough, but sometimes you got to play hurt. Anyways, today I have a question from Marty Lowe. He asked me about if future bets were a good wager, if they were a good play or not. Marty, it's a little tricky, but I got to say, here's the deal on future betting. Most of the time, I would say 39 out of 40 times, they're not a good value, a good play. There's about a 40% house edge built into those opening future markets. The Patriots at 6-1 at the beginning of the season. If you look at them, the casinos or the sports books got about a 40% house edge built into them. Now, they're all different and in every sport. Here's the one thing I got to tell you. Like, for instance, let's take the NFL one, especially when they get to the playoffs. As soon as the playoffs start, there's usually no value. I remember like in 2013 when the Colts ended up playing against the Ravens, ended up playing the 49ers. I think at the beginning of the playoffs, they were giving the Ravens 30 or 40 to 1. And they ended up winning the Super Bowl, 30 or 40 to 1. Everybody says, I cashed my ticket for 40 to 1. Terrible wager. If you have to follow the flight of your ticket. The Ravens were the 5 seed in the AFC playoffs. That means if you're the 5 or 6 seed in the playoffs in the NFL, you're guaranteed almost to have to play 3 road games and the Super Bowl to win your bet. So if you would have taken your ticket and just parlayed it through, forget your 40 to 1. Their first game was they were at Indy, okay, where they were getting $1.50. So your 100 becomes 250. Then their next game was, now they got to play the 2 seed, okay? Their next game was at Denver. Okay, when them were playing, they were getting plus 450. So you're 150 at times 450. Okay, now that's what 600, 675. Now you're looking at about 825. Now your ticket's worth 825 after two. Then if you win that one, you went to New England where you were getting almost 4 to 1 again. Okay. And then against Frisco, where you were at the end getting up to $1.90. So if you would have taken your ticket and just bet it through instead of just taking your automatic 40 to 1, that's a terrible price. You would have ended up nearly getting over 150 to 1. So most of the time, if you take your ticket and watch the flight of your team or your future when you're at the playoff stage, you'll realize that betting your ticket through ends up getting you a lot more money than that fixed price. Now, sports are different. In baseball, for instance, in the middle of the season, this year I remember when the Nationals were not 39, not when they were 19 and 31. That was the zenith of their losing. When they started making a bit of a comeback and showed some life, if you were a player that said, boy, they got good pitching, they got this, they're still 90, 100 to 1 to win it, even though they look kind of bad. That's where sometimes you can find a little bit of value. But most of the time, especially when they get to the playoffs, unless you're a 1 or a 2 seed in the NFL where you're going to host probably the 2 playoff games and then go to the Super Bowl, for instance, like this year there's going to be the Saints. They're going to be a favorite. They get a bye, and then most of the time you're going to get zero value, or it's not going to be a very good value. You got to play 3 road games, then the Super Bowl. In tennis, the same thing. March Madness, that's the craziest. When they take these let me see these. It's 15 seeds. There are 15 or 13 or 14 seeds. I got the 150 to 1 on some Siena or some team, some weak team. Watch the flight of that bracket, and if you're parlaying it through your money line, you end up with a ton more betting it through the thing. Most of the time, your fixed future bets are not that good. Very rarely will you see some value. And in the NFL, I would say if you're going to make a big one, try to figure a team that you think is going to be a 1 or a 2 seed in the playoffs. If you don't think they can finish 1 or 2 seed, you're probably better off waiting to the playoffs and then betting your ticket through. Anyways, there you go. I took a little bit of time on it. Marty Lowe, there's your thing on future bets. It's about a 40% market hold built into it. Not usually good. We appreciate you and we thank you. VegasOpeningLine.com is our website. VegasOpeningLine@gmail.com. Thank you. Appreciate you.